it's that time of the month again, time to start setting up for a new month of bullet journaling. But this time it's for the month of October. Spooky! Woo! So, to commemorate this sort of spookier month of the year, I decided to start my month with a black and white theme with some somewhat moody, somewhat dreamy, somewhat dark, somewhat Halloween-themed elements. In fact, this entire spread is going to be black and white, which is not something that I do very often, but this time I thought that it went very well with theme for the month. To start things off, I layered some scrapbooking paper and some photos in matching colors to create a sort of scrapbooky feel to my spread, which, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I love. Once I had everything down the way I liked it, it was time to start decorating the spread further. And something that I just can't stay away from when it comes to decorating bullet journaling spreads is washi tape. So this spread was no exception, except this time I used black and white washi tape to match the whole black and white theme of the spread. And my final touches for the spread were some sort of gothic, moody stickers and my little looking forward to heading, since I do like to start the month in a positive way if at all possible, and that little section actually really helps me to do that. So in contrast to my previous dark spread, I actually created a very colorful spread next. And you'll see that this is something that I do fairly often in this setup. I mean, alternating dark and colorful spreads. I guess after creating a dark spread, I'm just in the mood for some more color, and vice versa. In any case, this is a spread that I actually started with some scraps of scrapbooking paper that I had lying around left over from past spreads. But I thought that the colors actually went really well with the sort of fall-themed spread, so I decided to use them here. The focal point of the spread is definitely the photo in matching orange colors, but I ended up decorating it with some gold-colored stickers and some gold-toned washi tape to make it a little bit more interesting and to spice things up. This next spread is actually another black and white themed spread, and other than the scrapbooking paper that I used as a base, I actually used a lot of the same things that I used for my title page. For example, I actually used the exact same washi tape, and I used the same set of sort of moody, gothic themed stickers, just because, well, I really like how they looked in the title page, and I thought that they would work perfectly for another black and white spread. Of course, the headings also had to be black and white to match the rest of the spread, so I did something that I very rarely do, and I wrote them out in white marker on black paper. But I actually really like how it came out, so I think I might be doing this more often, especially since it sort of creates a nice change from my usual metallic headings or headings written in black. And like I've mentioned, after a dark spread, I was in the mood for a little bit more color. But this spread is different in the sense that this one I actually make quite a bit more symmetrical than I usually do. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I really like the chaos of randomly placed elements or seemingly randomly placed elements that still end up working together to create a complete spread, hopefully. But this time I actually went for something that was quite symmetrical, just because I sometimes like to switch things up a little bit and try something different. And since washi tape is pretty symmetrical in size and actually in its design, I used a lot of washi tape to put together this spread. I'm not super happy with how this came out, and it's definitely not my favorite spread from the setup, but I still think it's pretty fun and I will definitely enjoy using it. Plus, I'm really glad that I tried something that's a little bit outside my comfort zone, because, well, that's kind of fun to do as well. The color scheme for this next spread is red and black, and it's another sort of Halloween-themed spread, which you're actually going to see a lot of in this setup, and a lot of fall-themed spreads as well, just because, well, when I think of October, I think of fall and Halloween, so that's what a lot of my spreads are going to be about. In any case, back to the spread. For this spread, I decided to use floral scrapbooking paper and geometric pattern scrapbooking paper. And I have to say, I really like the contrast that these sort of very different patterns create when placed together side by side. And to decorate the spread further, I used some more of these moody dark stickers that you've already seen quite a bit and will actually keep seeing in this setup, just because they went so well with the theme, and a nice sort of sunset photo in a black and red color scheme just because, well, it matched the colors. It's not super Halloween themed, but the colors match, so why not? Also, you may have noticed that I'm actually doing a lot of self-care spreads this month, and this is actually something that I'm trying out for the first time for October. I mean, I did do some in previous month, but for October I'm doing way more than usual. And I thought that this was actually nice because whenever I fill out one of these spreads, it makes me feel better and it gives me some more perspective on, well, my life and the things that are happening in it. And the spread that I'm showing you now is actually no exception, and the color scheme for this spread is black and white yet again. It's actually a really simple spread though, and I sort of just grabbed the Halloween themed photo and matched everything else in the spread to that. You know when I said that I don't do symmetrical spreads very often? Well, I have yet another one in this setup for some inexplicable reason, but I actually like how this one came out quite a bit more, and I like the fact that it gave me a lot more space to write, which I think is good for a sort of review spread. All that blank space is probably going to force me to really fill in the spread and really think about things, just because I really don't like to leave blank space in my journal. As for decorating the spread, this one is definitely very fall themed. I started with the brown scrapbooking paper and then just added a lot more fall themed elements, including some very fall themed washi tape in various styles, and a bunch of fall themed stickers. All of these you will probably see more of in this setup, just because I really like using seasonal stationery. I don't know, something about it just feels very satisfying to me. I'd also like to take a moment to apologize for the light situation. The sun just wasn't cooperating with me, and it got progressively worse as I was filming the video. I did my best to mitigate it, but I didn't really succeed fully, and I'm really sorry about that, so hopefully you don't mind too much. As for the spread itself, it's a bit different from what I've been doing so far because this one is more of a magic themed spread. I mean, it sort of ties into the whole Halloween theme, but only sort of. But I still really like how it came out, and I really like the sort of neutral light tones here and the sort of magic feel. Again, it's pretty simple, but I still think it came out quite cute. So we've reached the first part of my weekly spreads, and we are back to a fall theme. I started off the spread with some fall photos, including that one of a really cute fox, which makes me happy as I look at it. I added some more color to the spread with scrapbooking paper, and then I decorated it further with a bunch of washi tape and stickers. This is another spread where I added a lot of gold, and I think that it really helps to sort of brighten up the spread a little bit and make it shinier, and I think it also works really well with the light colors in the spread, of which there are quite a few. I have to say, this is definitely one of my favorite spreads of the setup, although, to be honest, that might have more to do with the fox photo than the spread itself, but whatever the case may be, I actually really like how this one turned out. This next spread is actually super busy. It's another fall-themed spread, and I started off with layering some scrapbooking paper and craft paper, and I think that's part of what made it so busy. I just added a lot of elements in there, so I actually ended up without much space to write. I don't mind though, because I actually really like how it all came together in the end, and I'm definitely going to enjoy looking at it as I fill it out. Even if it won't be for very long, because I'm not going to have a lot of space to write in. For this spread, I also used a black and white image of a tree that I printed out. I don't actually have a colored printer, and it's a bigger investment than I'm willing to make for my bullet journaling right now, because that would be the only thing that I would use it for. So that's actually another reason why I use a lot of colorful stationery to add color to my spreads. I mean, let's be real, I also just really like stationery, so that's probably the biggest reason. But I wouldn't need it as much if I could actually print out colorful images on my computer. This next spread is yet another self-care spread, but this one is still weekly, not monthly. I mentioned that I did a lot more self-care spreads for the month, but I'm also adding a lot more for the week, just because I think that that will also be useful, pretty much for the same reasons I mentioned for my monthly spreads. Getting back to how I actually put this spread together, I started off with layering some pieces of scrapbooking paper and adding a bunch of stickers from the same autumn-themed set that you've already seen, and of course I added a whole bunch of washi tape as well, because, well, you know that I just can't stay away from my washi tape. This spread is actually based off a spread that I did in June, but I liked it so much that I actually decided to recreate it in a fall theme. I started this spread by adding pretty generous strips of fall-themed washi tape, as well as my favorite black and gold starry-themed washi tape, and then I made the right side into a sort of picture collage. To create it, I used another printed black and white image, a photograph, and some stickers with brown and gold touches. To match all the colors in my spread, I decided to make my headings black and gold. And if you're wondering what's happening here, this is the moment when I realized that my gold marker is still writing in gold, but it's not really metallic gold anymore, which is why I've been having so much trouble with my headings just not looking the same, since I do use my gold marker a lot. Luckily I had a backup and I was much happier with the spread when I used it. In case you're wondering, we're almost done, and this next spread is another really simple one, but surprisingly one of my favorites. I used a little bit of scrapbooking paper with some sort of old-looking writing on it, and I thought that it went really well with the moody, sort of gothic stickers that I've been using a lot in this. Once I added all that in, I did the same headings in black and gold that you saw in the previous spread, and then I kind of stared at it for a little bit, wondering if there's anything else I should add, but I decided against it because I actually really like how simple it looks, but I don't know, I think it works really well together. This is the last spread I'm going to show you in this setup, and you can kind of see that I'm getting tired because I just don't layer things as much anymore, and I used a lot of fairly large stickers to sort of take up the space and decorate the spread, which, by the way, is a good idea to do if you're getting tired or if you just don't know what to do with a spread. Just put a lot of large stationery on there and it sort of makes it look like you put in a lot more effort than you actually did. One fun thing that I did end up adding to the spread is my super sparkly gold paper. I actually really enjoy the sparkliness that it adds to my spreads, but I forgot I had it until this very last spread of the setup, or I might have used it a little bit more. And now that we've finished putting together all the spreads, I think it's time for the final flip through, where I show you all of the spreads that I have shown you how I put together in this setup. I mean, I guess I've been showing you all the spreads, but this time I'm going to flip through all of the completed ones. I have to say, I'm actually really happy with how most of my spreads came out, and even the ones that I'm less pleased with, I still think are pretty cute, so I think that this might be my best setup yet. I really hope that you actually liked it as well, and that you got some ideas for your October journal. And I really hope that you have an amazing month, an amazing fall, enjoy all the fun, spooky holidays that are coming up. Well, just one spooky holiday, but other holidays in general. And thank you so much for watching. I'll definitely see you next month for my next setup. Be you, always. Bye!